everyone. Today we are going to discuss about poliomyelitis and differential diagnosis of acute flaccid paralysis. Introduction. Belongs to genus Enterovirus, family of Picornaviridae. Poliomyelitis is non-enveloped virus and belongs to positive stranded RNA virus. There are three serotypes, type 1, 2 and 3, that causes paralysis. Type 1 is most commonly responsible for paralysis. Epidemiology. Seasonal disease is seen in summer and early autumn in temperate climates like ours. In tropical countries, there is no seasonal variations, occurs anytime. 3 regions of the world were identified free from indigenous circulation: the Americas, the Eastern Pacific and Europe. Transmission. Humans are the only known reservoir for the polioviruses. Spread of infection mainly by fecal-oral route. Oral pharyngeal transmission is common in industrial area and uric outbreaks. Virus is shared in stools for 6 to 8 weeks and average incubation period is 7 to 10 days. The virus spreads rapidly to non-immune persons. Immunity is acquired through infection with the wild virus and through immunization. Immunization plays important role to prevent poliomyelitis. The immunity is lifelong. The inactivated poliovirus vaccine confers humoral immunity. The Global Polio Eradication Initiative has significantly reduced the number of cases. Both humoral and local intestinal cellular response is achieved by natural infection and administration of complete series of vaccine. Pathogenesis. Portal of entry is through mouth. Before the onset of paralytic illness, virus present in the pharynx and in the stool. Invades local lymphoid tissue, enters the bloodstream and invades certain nerve cells and damage or destroy the nerve cells. This diagram is showing the pathogenesis of poliovirus infection. There are 4 main stages of pathogenesis: digestive stage, lymphatic stage, viremia stage and neural stage. Sequelae of polio infection. Polio infection are of 2 types: inapparent infection and clinical poliomyelitis. In inapparent infection, patient is asymptomatic, and in clinical poliomyelitis, there are 2 types: abortive polio, that is minor illness, and involvement of CNS, that is major illness. If CNS is involved, then it is again divided into 2: paralytic polio and non-paralytic polio. Paralytic polio is again divided into 3: spinal polio, bulbar polio and bulbospinal polio. Clinical features. The incubation period is 7 to 10 days. Maximum range of incubation period is 4 to 35 days. In 90 to 95% of infected individuals, infection is inapparent. So, these patients are asymptomatic. In 5 to 10% of individual infected by poliovirus. Abortive polio. In abortive polio, minor illness occurs in 4 to 8% of infection. Minor illness like low-grade fever, sore throat, vomiting, abdominal pain, loss of appetite and malaise like symptoms are there. Recovery is rapid and complete. There is no residual paralysis and cannot be distinguished from the other viral infection. Non-paralytic aseptic meningitis occurs in 1 to 2% of infection, that is very minor. Headache, neck, back, leg stiffness will be there, and recovery occurs within 2 to 10 days. So these are the minor illness like symptoms. Polioencephalitis. Polioencephalitis is characterized by irritability, delirium, and loss of consciousness like other meningitis, other CNS infection. Sometimes seizure, convulsions are there, and upper motor neuron type of paralysis occurs in polioencephalitis. Paralytic poliomyelitis occurs in 0.5 to 1% of infection, that is very less. Both minor phase and major phase are there in paralytic poliomyelitis. In minor phase, similar to those of abortive poliomyelitis, and in major phase, muscle pain, spasm, and the return of fever followed by rapid onset of flaccid paralysis, complete within 72 hours. Paralytic poliomyelitis are of three types: spinal paralytic poliomyelitis, bulbar polio, and bulbospinal polio. Now we will talk about spinal paralytic poliomyelitis. The most common form, almost 80%, is involved in spinal paralytic poliomyelitis, results from a lower motor neuron lesion of the anterior horn cells of the spinal cord, affects the muscles of legs, arms, and or trunk. In severe cases, quadriplegia, paralysis of trunk, abdominal and thoracic muscles occur. Affected muscles are floppy and reflexes are diminished. Pain and touch sensations are normal in spinal paralytic poliomyelitis. Paralysis is asymmetrical, involves legs more than arms. And there is descending type of paralysis. Paralytic manifestation in extremities begins proximally and progresses to involve distal muscle groups. Residual flaccid paralysis is usually present after 60 days. Bulbar polio accounts for 2% cases, results from a cranial nerve lesion, and in symptoms, respiratory insufficiency, difficulty in swallowing, eating, and speaking is there. Bulbospinal polio accounts for 20% cases, combination of spinal, paralytic, and bulbar polio is there. Poliomyelitis risk factors. Poliomyelitis occurs mostly in a patient with immune deficiency. So, the pediatric population is most commonly involved as a risk factors. Pregnancy is also a major risk factors for poliomyelitis. Poor sanitation and hygiene, poverty, unimmunized status. If child is unimmunized, then it is also a major risk factors for poliomyelitis, especially if child is less than 5 years. Tonsillectomy, a risk factor for bulbar paralysis. Intramuscular injections or trauma can contribute as a risk factors for poliomyelitis. Clinical features. Ratio between subclinical and clinical infections ranges between 100:1 and 1000:1. Older children and adults having greater risk of developing paralytic illness. Case fatality rate ranges between 2 to 20% with paralytic form of disease. In bulbar or respiratory involvement, case fatality rate is more than 40%. Residual paralysis. After acute phase of 0 to 4 weeks, recovery begins in paralyzed muscles. Extent of recovery is up to 60 days. Depend on the damage. If damage are more, it will take more time to recover. Maximum recovery occurs in first 6 months of the illness. Slow recovery occurs up to 2 years. After 2 years, no more recovery expected, and post-polio residual paralysis persists throughout life. So we are seeing more patients of post-polio residual paralysis, those who are unimmunized. Diagnosis. Based on the history and clinical manifestations of asymmetric flaccid paralysis. So, the most common tool for diagnosis is thorough history and clinical examination. So, in history, family history, immunization history, birth history is most important, and thorough clinical examination. In stool examination is also a very important tool for the diagnosis of patient of poliomyelitis. Stool examination is compulsory for every case during first 2 weeks after the onset of paralysis, and it is done in every case of acute flaccid paralysis or poliomyelitis. Virus detection can also be done, and in CSF examination, albuminocytological dissociation, which is present in second week of the illness, and CSF is also advised to rule out other conditions. Differential diagnosis. Differential diagnosis of poliomyelitis are Guillain-Barré syndrome, dysteric paralysis, botulism, myasthenia gravis, polymyositis and viral myositis, transverse myelitis, spinal cord compressions, hypokalemic periodic paralysis. This is the latest update about polio. It is updated by World Health Organizations till 28th. This slide shows scenario of 2019 and scenario of wild polio virus up to 20th May 2020. In 2019, total 176 children paralyzed by polio worldwide. In them, out of 176 cases, 147 cases are in Pakistan and 29 cases are in Afghanistan. And till 20th May 2020, total 59 children paralyzed by polio virus worldwide, and in Pakistan 47 cases, and in Afghanistan 12 cases are there. In India, last case of wild polio virus was detected in January 2011 in West Bengal, that is of type 1 polio virus. Vaccine derived polio virus or vaccine associated polio myelitis, 1 case in 2016, 2 cases in 2015, 3 cases of type 2 in 2014 were reported. In Gujarat, last case was reported on 16th March 2007, that is of type 1. Certification is done for WHO regions, not for individual countries. WHO region certified polio free. Americas became polio free in 1994, Western Pacific in 2000, Europe 2002, and India is certified polio free on 27 March 2014. Certification of a region is considered only when all countries in the area demonstrate absence of wild polio virus transmission for at least 3 consecutive years, presence of certification standard surveillance, global action plan for laboratory containment of wild polio virus. This is the certificate given by World Health Organization, that is certificate of eradication of wild polio virus type 3, that is given on 17th October 2019. Treatment of poliomyelitis. Early and appropriate to the stage and degree of paralysis. Children with bulbospinal polio and respiratory paralysis require hospitalization. Acute stage with isolated limb paralysis can be managed at home, complete bed rest, proper positioning of the affected limb, and passive range of movements at the joints. Avoid massage and intramuscular injections during acute phase and encourage frequent change of posture. Neutral position. Neutral position is the mainstay of treatment of acute case of acute flaccid paralysis. Use firm bed and maintain neutral position. Lie with trunk and hips straight with slight flexion 5 to 10 degree at knees and feet at right angle at the ankle joint. Use pillow, roll towels or sandbags to maintain neutral positions. Sister Canis treatment. Warm moist fermentation with soft towels dipped in warm water for pain and spasm relief. All the joints of affected limbs should be moved through their passive range of movements 2 to 3 times per day for 10 times at each joint to prevent joint stiffness. This helps to stimulate proprioceptive impulses from muscles and tendons, thus helping improvement in the muscle power. After acute phase illness, with physiotherapy, with proper ambulations and by prevention of deformities, recovery in muscle power will occur. Some children require orthosis at some stage for ambulation. Fixed deformities and contractures required orthopedic intervention. These are the poliomyelitis complications. Urinary tract infections, skin ulcers because of prolonged illness, traumatic injuries to affected limbs, atelectasis and pneumonia, especially for bedridden patients, myocarditis, post-poliomyelitis progressive muscular atrophy, post-poliomyelitis motor neuron disease, respiratory muscle involvement, and in severe cases death can occur. Vaccines. To prevent poliomyelitis in future, vaccines plays important role. Two types of vaccines are there, oral polio vaccines and injectable polio vaccines. First, we will talk about oral polio vaccine. It is developed by Salk, live attenuated oral polio virus, contains all 3 types of polio virus, included in universal immunization program, and seroconversion rate after 3 doses are 73%, 90% and 70% for serotype 1, 2 and 3. In addition to the routine OPV doses, pulse polio doses on every national immunization days and sub-NID until the age of 5 years are also mandatory. Type 2 strain is associated with the risk of vaccine-associated paralytic polio. 250 to 800 cases per year globally occurs due to type 2 strains of vaccine-associated paralytic polio. Two types of vaccine-derived polio virus, that is IVDPV and CVDPV. I for immunodeficiency and C for circulation. Injectable polio vaccine. This is killed vaccine developed by Sabin. It is highly immunogenic. Seroconversions is seen in 90 to 95% cases with 2 doses given 2 months apart after 2 months of age. And seroconversion in 99 cases with 3 doses given beyond 6 weeks of age and only 4 weeks apart. Excellent in herd effect and IPV is also very safe. Given IM 0.5 ml singly or as a combination, vaccination of choice in patients with immunodeficiency, avoiding patients with B cells immunodeficiency. At present, given intradermally in right arm 0.1 ml. Most important part of poliomyelitis is eradication of polio. Eradication is possible because polio affects only men, immunity is lifelong, a safe vaccine is available, no carriers or reservoirs of the infection is there. Why AFP and not only polio? Because it is difficult to distinguish clinically from other causes of AFP. All are initially look same. Polio cases with atypical presentation may be missed, and syndromic approach of investigation of all AFP ensures detection of all polio cases. The strategies for achieving these goals are attaining high routine immunization, national immunization days, NIDs, mopping up immunization, and acute flacis paralysis surveillance. So first we will talk about attaining high routine immunization. Immunize every child aged less than 1 year with at least 3 doses of OPV. NIDs, National Immunization Days. Additional OPV doses are given to every child less than 5 years of age. The aim is to flood the community with OPV within a very short period to interrupting transmission of virus. House to house, search and vaccinate. The number of PPI rounds conducted during any particular year is determined by the extent of poliovirus transmission in the state or district. Mopping up immunization. Intensive house-to-house, child-to-child immunization campaigns over a period of days to break the final chains of virus. Acute flacis paralysis surveillance is the most important part of eradication of polio. Under Global Polio Eradication Initiative, surveillance for polio is conducted through investigation of patients with acute flaccid paralysis. Acute flaccid paralysis is defined as sudden onset of weakness and floppiness in any part of the body in a child less than 15 years old, or paralysis in a person of any age in whom polio is suspected. All cases with AFP should be reported and their stool sample must be collected within 14 days of onset and maximum up to 60 days. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India issued an official instruction that all health facilities, clinicians and other practitioners are required to notify acute flaccid paralysis cases immediately to the District Immunization Officer (DIO) by the fastest available means. 2 samples 24 hours apart should be collected. 60-day follow-up is done between the 60th and 90th day in certain categories of AFP to determine the presence or absence of residual paralysis. An AFP case is confirmed as polio by the isolation of wild polio virus from any stool specimen. And an AFP case is classified as non-polio AFP if wild polio virus is not isolated from adequate stool specimen. If stool specimens are inadequate, final classification of AFP cases as either non-polio AFP or compatible with polio will depend on the result on 68th day examination. If the 68th day follow-up examination shows no residual weakness, the case is classified as non-polio AFP. This is how stool collection is done in a case of AFP. This is the container and 2 stool specimen 24 to 48 hours apart is taken within 14 days of onset of paralysis, can be done up to 2 months from onset, at least 8 gram each sample size. Special container must be used. Side of the container to be labeled with a name and EPID number. Voided stool is preferred. Reverse cold chain to be maintained. Inadequate stools. Inadequate stools will be considered if collection is done more than 14 days, quality is less than 8 grams, sample size is less than 8 grams, leakage or dryness, break in reverse cold chain, documentation required to be sent to expert committee, Delhi, if samples are inadequate. 60th day follow-up must be in time, and case classified as discarded or compatible if samples are inadequate. Cases to be reported as an AFP case includes both in OPD as well as in indoor patients. All cases must be reported. Cases are traumatic neuritis, post-injection paralysis, transverse myelitis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, post-diphtheric polyneuritis, paraplegia, monoplegia, quadriplegia, hemiparesis, past history of paralysis in last 6 months, that is transient paralysis, cases of facial palsy, isolated neck paralysis, palatal paralysis, viral encephalitis with flaccidity, wrist or foot drop, limping or not able to walk, not bearing weight over one or both legs. And overall, if you are in doubt, then you should report. These are the PPD diseases in which case-based surveillance for vaccines preventable disease are done, that is acute flaccid paralysis, measles, rubella, diphtheria, pertussis, neonatal tetanus. World Polio Day. World Polio Day is celebrated on 24th October every year, and the theme is One Day, One Focus, Ending Polio. A polio-free world is in sight. Keep India polio-free. With India declared polio-free, a part of me is satisfied, but we can't afford to be complacent. We need to ensure maintaining the immunity level of our children. Hence, supplementary immunization activities need to be continued. These words are spoken by Dr. Harsh Vardhan, Minister Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, for prevention of poliomyelitis. Thank you.